afternoon. It's Dawn Kelly, and I'm back. It's the Nourish Spot Hour at Caribbean Buzz Radio, and I'm delighted to be back here with you today. I have some wonderful guests, and actually we planned for this, so I'm really happy. I didn't have to call anybody at the ninth hour. Nobody decided at the ninth hour not to show up. I got my good girlfriends. Really, really good girlfriends, people I've known for a very long time. And I'm going to start with, to my left, I have Odet Wilson. Ghana and I went to college together, and she is a fellow CEO of Green Gigz.
Yes.
Yes. And to my right, I have her older sister. Yes. PaSean Wilson Ashley. And she also is an entrepreneur. She owns Aunties Vegan. And I'm going to tell you, I've been the recipient of some of that deliciousness.
Wait till you try my ice cream.
Ooh, it's good. I'm telling you, I had to go all the way. Where were we? Miami, California? Where were we?
In Miami.
Okay, Miami.
Oh,
Where you had to get it?
Oh, at the
Girl,
Papa.
I was right there.
Right.
You know what? After eating your ice cream, I actually met the dudes from Power, so it was perfect. It was perfect. I was all in the alley with what's the guy's name? Not Ghost. Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was all in the alley. Look, eating my ice cream tomorrow. Wait, that's Tommy. Oh, so it was really, really, really interesting. So today we're here and we're going to talk about the things that the Wilson sisters are working on. We're going to start with Pasha because she worked on a documentary that is very, very important to many women of color because it deals with fibroids. And I don't know how many of you that are watching and listening have had to deal with fibroids, but I have. And it can be one of the most frightening things that you ever go through as a woman. You know, I know we have men in here, and maybe you want to close your ears. You might not want to hear all this stuff.
Open your ears more, because I'm sure you all know women who probably have been afflicted by fibroids. So,
but it just
want to get
up.
men involved in the conversation so that they can support women and help us to find out treatment options and what causes them in the first place. So let's include the men for sure.
Because I'm gonna tell you what happened to me was, I was like, seemed like I was gaining a lot of weight. And like when I would touch myself, I would feel kind of like hard masses. And I didn't like understand. And then also when my menstruation would come, I just would be like bleeding forever. And I'm like, what is going on? I mean, I'll tell you that one time I was in my car, I was bawling. I was crying because I thought I was dying. Okay? And so I went to the doctor and I said to her, oh, what's wrong with me? Am I dying? And she, I did. And she told me that she was going to have to send me to get the MRI, the sonogram. And when they did that sonogram, there was so many of those fibroids in my body. One they said was like the size of a grapefruit, okay? And that's the one that I was feeling.
Right.
And so it was very fearful for me.
Ghana and I both had fibroids, and my other sister has fibroids. So it's definitely a genetic component to it.
Okay.
And just circling back into the men being connected with fibroids, having experiences with women who have fibroids, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Cynthia Bailey had fibroids, and her husband talks about it. It did not contribute to their marriage, if you know what I mean.
It doesn't.
And then one crazy story, y'all might want to close your ears for this because it's a little graphic. But there was one guy who I interviewed who his wife had fibroids, and where it was located, when they would have intercourse, it was actually rubbing the skin off their penis.
Oh my gosh!
So it really affects men also.
Okay.
And then if your partner is having issues like that, it's gonna affect and infect the whole family.
It does, because it messes with your mental. It's one thing about your body, right? Yes. But it messes with your mind. And if your mind's not right, nothing else is working.
Right.
So tell us, what's the name of the documentary?
It's called The F Word, Fibroid Stories.
I love that.
And I started it about 10 years ago because I had fibroid tumors, and I was told by the first doctor, which is very common, you're told we'll watch and wait.
Yes.
which is the most
Like,
ridiculous thing.
what about an embolism? Like, aren't there some other options here?
Right, because what is the point of watching and waiting? Because more than likely,
It's
probably
gonna
99.9% of the time,
Yeah, they grow.
if something caused it to be there, it's not gonna stop because you're watching it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the truth.
It's-
But that's the bad, look, they've been messing around with our health since Tuskegee, right? What was syphilis? What was it?
Yeah,
They've been messing with our health forever.
Well, that was my first thing. When I first started the documentary, I was like, okay, this is genocide. Ain't right. You know, this is about my people. You know,
That's right.
that's where I started.
Right.
And then when I started interviewing so many white women, you know, who also had fibroids,
Okay.
who also were told to get a hysterectomy for fibroids,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so it's a male-female
It is.
thing.
It is.
Yes, yes.
It's a lack of respect for a woman and a woman's
Absolutely.
body.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I would tell you, I'm so glad you brought that up. I had an Asian female doctor to tell me to get a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm tell you what happened that day, cause y'all know me. Okay? First, I told her off. I said, I said, can I ask you a question? She said, what? I said, you got a daughter? You got a daughter? She said, yes, I have a daughter. I said, would you tell her that? She said, no, you wouldn't. I walked outside. I said, I'll be back. I'll be back. Because I had to go outside. Because I really wanted to rip that lady's neck. How dare you have no sense of accountability for me as your patient?
And they jump to that as the first
Flip
option.
it. Yeah.
As the first
Sterilize
option.
us.
Yeah,
Sterilize
exactly.
us. Take
And
away our reproductive power.
And what's even more infuriating about that is that now your fibroids have shrunk. Suppose you had listened to that woman and had a hysterectomy.
Thank you. And so that's what I went home. Let me tell you what I did. I went outside. I called my mother because I was livid. Like I couldn't like really talk. So I called my mother and I said, I'm losing it. Okay. The doctor just told me, an Asian lady. She's a little older than me. She told me I should have a hysterectomy. Just yank out my stuff. I said, really? Is that it? I said, I heard that you can have an embolism. Like there's all these other things that you can do if you have fibroids. And you know what my mother said? Because she's a praying woman. She said, them things gonna shrink, just chill. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She said, I have them too. She said, we never talked about this. She said,
Yeah, that's the thing is that in our community everything is a secret.
Everything.
So I think that if more mothers had talked to their daughters about it, perhaps, like women who just went and got, didn't know that there were alternatives and got hysterectomies.
Exactly.
If they had a conversation with somebody in their family, some other female who had gone through something, who'd said, I had them, they shrunk, or I had them and I know that there are other options.
Right.
Yeah,
Or I had them and they I did have the surgery and they took them out. I mean,
Right.
something. But because I just was afraid that I
Right.
was dying, okay, and I go to my medical, the woman that I see regular, she's my primary care. I go to her and I'm thinking that she has my best interest at heart, and she doesn't.
And she
Yeah.
does. Well, again, I want you to talk about your story in a second. But the first doctor told me watch and wait.
Okay.
And then by the time I went to another doctor a few years later,
Okay.
they were so large that the second doctor and third doctor,
Right.
who I got a second opinion from, told me I needed a hysterectomy. So it went from watching and waiting to you need a hysterectomy. But did anyone tell you needed a hysterectomy?
Yeah, oh yeah. I had a conversation with and it was my physician. I can't remember his name. I know it started with a B.
Okay.
A male.
I was gonna
And
say. I was gonna
wish
give him a
remember his
name.
because I would have said the name. But he told me that I should get a hysterectomy for my fibroids, and I didn't realize I had a fibroid until I was pregnant. I had gotten pregnant, and I was went to get my first sonogram, and my doctor was like, "Oh well, you're this many weeks along. Oh, we're gonna have to watch that fibroid." I said, "Fibroid? Like when did I get a fibroid?"
Right.
Had developed it and didn't even know. And after obviously I had a miscarriage because the fibroid and the fetus were growing at the same rate, and it ended up causing a miscarriage in 5 months. But didn't know that I had the fibroid prior to becoming pregnant. But after that, when I had gone to see a doctor, male doctor, I ended up with a female physician who did a myomectomy.
Okay.
He was just like, "Oh yeah, just give a hysterectomy." And I was just like,
No.
we're not doing that.
Right.
And I said, that's such a drastic, place to leap to. Is a hysterectomy,
You
and I knew about other alternatives because PaSean had her myomectomy before that, so I knew
Exactly.
about uterine artery embolization.
Right.
I knew about myomectomy, so I knew
Right.
all this. So, but he just let. So I was gonna tell him what I wanted to do, but I was
Right.
like, well, let me hear what you have to say.
Right.
So I let him go on, and he was telling me, oh, and you don't really need it anyway, and at your age, and just I was like, I don't need I don't need my uterus, and he's like, yeah, well, are you planning on having children? I don't know, but I'd like there to be an option. So I said to him, that's like the equivalent of somebody saying that we're gonna remove your testicles.
Yeah.
So if somebody just said that there are options if you had testicular cancer,
Right.
there are options to how they treat testicular cancer.
Right.
They don't just. I said I have never heard of any doctor immediately going to, well, let's just
Take 'em off.
let's just castrate you.
Right.
It's the same thing. Oh, that's drastic. Oh, that doesn't mean the same thing. It's not the same thing. Oh, it's very different. I was like, it's
It's
to
the
a woman,
same
it's the equivalent.
thing.
But I think that people have just become so the medical community has never, as you said, respected
The women's
women.
body.
Particularly black women,
Yes.
and they always lead to, you just think about it, they're like what
Sterilizing
the
us.
root of the word hysterectomy is. They used to give women
Hysteria.
hysterectomies because they were hysterical.
Yeah.
So in order to calm a woman down,
You take out her
you take out her
uterus.
uterus, which regulates all of your hormones. So these women, well, I'm sure they were probably even more
Crazy
after
afterwards.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
But I think part of the thing with why I had to move from it was a conspiracy thing to it's just a woman thing is that doctors have been taught in medical school that anything other than a hysterectomy is a Band-Aid, because if you do the uterine artery embolization, myomectomy, or any of the other things, more often than not,
they can grow
the
back.
fibroids will come back because what caused them in the first place is not gone.
Right. Exactly.
So they're like, if we want to cure you, because we got a God complex, we got
Right.
to cure you.
Right.
We're not going to give you any choices. We're not going to tell you what the treatment options are. We're going to cure you and we're going to take all
You're
your
gonna
stuff
take all
out.
your stuff out.
Right.
Right.
But
But
now,
the thing is, they should give us the option.
the other thing, though, and I might be a conspiracy theory, but the other thing is, which one they get more money for?
Well, they bill the same for a myomectomy as they bill for a hysterectomy, but hysterectomy is taken an hour to perform.
Right.
Because you literally go in, you clip, take it out.
Right.
Myomectomies, if you're going in, you're going through the muscle, you're taking out. So you can do 10 hysterectomies in a day, and you could probably only do two to three myomectomies.
Exactly.
So it's
It's swift.
faster. So
Right.
you make more money
You make more
by just
money.
doing hysterectomies
Right.
than you do by going and doing a myomectomy. Because when PaSean had hers, her doctor, we were all in the waiting room. Her doctor came out and was just like, oh, we're in there. Came out probably like the 3-hour mark or so.
Right.
No, it was about an hour and a half, 2-hour mark. Came out and was like, we're still in there. We're, it's a lot. And
Right.
we're gonna make sure we get them out.
Right.
At the point, there was another young lady who was in the waiting room. Her sister was in the waiting room with us. Her sister was 26 or something, 26, 27. 25. And her sister was sitting there waiting for her. And she was
Right.
going in for a myomectomy.
Okay.
But they always have you sign the consent form that says, oh, if we find something that's too much, or if it's just going to be too long or too much, we have the option to do a hysterectomy. And her sister, like, okay, well, she signed the form. So her doctor came out, male white doctor came out
25 years
shortly
old.
after Pasha's doctor came out and was just like, yeah, it was just too many, so we're just going to go and do a hysterectomy. Just wanted to let you know that. And went back in and gave this woman who was under sedation at 25 years old a hysterectomy.
And they came in the recovery room, Ghana and my husband, and told me that story. And I said, I'm doing a documentary because that's happening
That's
every day.
horrific. That's horrific.
Yeah, because they can always convert it.
They
into a
stole
hysterectomy.
her ability to
At
have
25.
children. That-
But those are because when I had my myomectomy, I went back and forth with my doctor, and thank God I had a really progressive physician,
Okay.
and I had her. I was like, I'm not consenting
Right.
to, if you find out that it's too much, close me up.
Right.
Oh, we don't do that because we can't. I'm not, well, then I won't get the surgery.
Right.
But you have to give me the right and the option
That's
to
right.
say yes or no. I
Right.
can't do it if I'm under anesthesia.
Right,
So
exactly.
it wasn't like he asked the sister.
No.
He told the sister because her sister
She
had
had
already signed
signed,
the
right.
form that said, I give you permission that if you
And
find.
that's the standard form. My
Yes.
doctor said that's the standard form. She said, but I would never convert yours to a hysterectomy.
Oh my
But that's the
God.
standard form.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I
Dr.
praise
West,
God that
yeah.
mine. I praise God that mine shrunk. Like I don't have that issue, and of that age, I don't have that other issue either. So I'm just very
You need
happy.
to go on a tour, a lecture tour,
It's called wheatgrass. It's called wheatgrass, ginger, turmeric. Okay,
Yeah.
I take
Really?
shots of those. Yes, I do, and I've been doing that for a really long time. And also, I'm drinking my water. I'm getting my rest. I'm walking. I'm doing all the things that really I didn't do as much when I was working for corporate America.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the film. What's going on with it? You know.
Well, we have 55 hours shot, roughly 55 hours shot. And we're about to go into the post-production phase. We are going to be starting, I wasn't going to say a crowdfunding campaign, but I would prefer to just write a grant and get the money to finish the film.
That would be great.
On crowdfunding, so I'm going to say that.
Okay.
I'm going to write a grant.
Set your intentions.
Set the intention to get the money to do all of the post-production work. And there are a couple of people that I'd love to interview that like on my dream list. Like if I had the money, like Dr. Christiane Northrup, you know, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom.
Okay.
A doctor who does uterine artery embolization, because I haven't interviewed a doctor who does uterine artery embolization.
Okay.
Epigeneticists.
Okay. What is that?
They study.
That sounds interesting.
They study the connection between races and disease by studying the DNA pattern.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be able to
smart.
Yeah, they'll be able to determine. They'll be able to determine why certain races have certain diseases.
Okay.
And because
probably diet, right? It has to be tied to
it's
diet.
not just
diet and environment. I would say diet and environment, because if you think about it, I'm not gonna say all black people, but most black people, whether you're Caribbean or Trinidadian or whatever, we all eating about the same thing, right?
Well, once you come here, because when you look at the incidence of fibroid tumors and other diseases when people are in their natural environment. When you look at people that are in the Caribbean or that are in Africa, they suffer from diseases that they have here less than they do when they're in their native countries.
Oh, okay.
So
this is
I think
you made me think of something.
Yeah. So I think that part of it is the DNA, but I think that part of it is the stress and what happens to you once you come over here and you deal with the everyday racism, you deal with the everyday stress of
just being in America.
Just being in America.
Yeah. But think about this: fibroids are common with women of African descent, also Jewish women, also Armenian women.
Okay.
And you think about the three things that those women have in common. You have the Middle Passage for African American women. You have the Holocaust for Jewish women. And you have the Armenian genocide. Stress.
Genetic stress. So that means stress carries through the generation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it carries through the DNA. There have been scientists who,
because think about it, if you're a slave, right, and you handle stressful situations on the plantation a certain way,
right?
You
internalize it.
You internalize it, but also you pass that behavior on to your child.
You do.
You pass it on to your child, and you don't even remember why you are responding to this like that, because it's so similar to an oppressive slave situation that you just keep passing those behaviors on.
It's so true. It's so
and how
true.
you respond to stress on.
Right.
But this is even deeper. There's a book called The Message in Water. It's by this Japanese author. I can't think of his name. You Google it.
Okay.
And he does this experiment where he takes water and he freezes it, but he puts words on the water. This is in this movie called What the Bleep, but he also has a book.
Okay.
So you have like love, peace, ugly, stupid.
Okay.
And then freeze the crystals and then look at the crystals under a microscope.
Okay.
And the words that were positive, affirming words, had these beautiful crystals.
Wow.
The words that had these gnawed, this obviously ugly.
That's crazy.
And then he went back to the water sources.
Okay.
Where he had taken the water from, and those waters had changed to whatever the word was on the water that he had taken.
Wow.
So if you think about it, our bodies are mostly water.
That's true.
In terms of what we're thinking and what it's doing to our DNA, and then you think about our brothers and sisters who live other places and how they have the same diseases, even though they might not have had the same exact experiences. It makes sense because of this book. So those are the things that epigeneticists, and this is the things I explore in the documentary, because it's not enough to find out the treatment options for fibroids. We want to find out what the frick causes them.
Right,
In the first place.
yeah, we do. We need to know what's generating this.
Exactly.
It's true.
But then you also think, because I was like, I can't remember where it was an article or a conversation or something that I was reading, and they were talking about that when you're looking at the DNA behind fibroids and other diseases that women, those three groups of those three ethnicities of women have had, and they say that is it a response to those situations and them wanting to not reproduce. So your body
It's saying
your
no.
body creates something
Right,
in it
to make sure
that you don't bring another person into that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
It's definitely
That's
something
interesting. That is very interesting, and you know what? There's some validity there. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So now we don't want to get stuck talking about that, okay? You know, we all know health is important.
Very.
You know, I own the Nourish Spot. Here comes the shameless plug. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour. And the Nourish Spot Hour is brought to you by the Nourish Spot. I'm the CEO of the Nourish Spot, which is a healthy food and beverage juice bar here in Jamaica, Queens. We're located at 10705 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, and we are open now.
Yes.
Right
Go
now,
down and get you a smoothie.
you can go down, you can walk in and get yourself a smoothie, a juice, a good salad, or a wrap. And if you can't walk in, you can contact DoorDash, Seamless, Uber Eats. Who am I missing? Postmates. Call them up and they'll deliver the food right straight to your door. So with that, we're going to also talk about Mama Aunties Vegan.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, Posh. Tell me about, like, where did it come from? Like,
Well,
where did the idea come from? And, you know, how long you been working on it and what's going on now?
let's see, where should we start? My grandmother was a really good baker.
Okay.
Remember her cake with the 7-minute frosting
Yes. Oh,
that she
God.
would make for us every time we would come to
Yes.
visit her? And then she would parade us around the projects. These are my grandbabies. Like she was the only person in the projects that had grandbabies. She was so proud of us.
Oh, that's
But
lovely.
she was a baker. My mom used to bake us bread.
Okay.
I had a brother who made bean pie. You know, Nation of Islam people made
Right.
bean pies. And I was the one who could not bake.
Oh.
Matter of fact,
Now this is funny.
one of my nieces came to visit when I lived in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I was making something, and she said, "Grandma said you're not much of a homemaker." And I said, "What?" She said, she repeated it. "She's not much of a homemaker, but you can't have everything."
This wasn't Yvonne, right?
No,
Oh,
this is from a brother.
Okay.
One of our brothers. But so I was the one who could not bake to
Okay.
save my life.
Okay.
And I happened to be doing a play once in Pasadena, and I
Okay.
was stressed out, and something just said, "Go bake a cake," and I was like, "You don't bake, shit, what you?" The voice, "Shut up, I don't bake." And I literally got up in the middle of the night, and I went and
You
I
listened
baked.
to the voice.
I listened to the voice, and I just Googled the recipe, and I was looking through recipes like I was a professional. No, that don't look good. That don't look good. And I stumbled upon one. I brought it in, and the director tasted it. She was like, "You're a really good actress." She said, "But if this acting thing don't work out, you could really do this."
Wow.
And I was like,
Really?
And she said, "Yeah." And then I like to get vegan chocolate chip cookies from Whole Foods, and it was so expensive. I was like, "I'm making my own chocolate chip cookies." And I started making my chocolate chip cookies. But this is the power of social media.
Okay.
I just started posting stuff because I was so proud, because I was the
Right, you was the one that
I was
couldn't
the
do
white,
it.
I was the white sheep of the family who couldn't bake. And so I would post everything I baked, and
Right.
people would say, "Oh, could you make one for me?" And it turned into this business.
Listen, sis.
It turned into this
Listen.
business. And then with the help of Ghana, now I have an investor, you know, a top-notch investor.
I love
who
it.
has invested in my Mama Aunties business. And I'm in the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills.
Did y'all hear that? Wait. Did y'all hear that? Let's say it again.
Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills on Doheny.
Give me,
You go to the
yo.
restaurant and you order the non-dairy ice cream. It's my ice cream. And we
Yes.
just met with a food scientist
Okay.
who's helping us to come up with a formula so we can take it to a co-packer
Okay.
so that we can be national and international.
Okay, I'm gonna need that. Okay, so again, we're friends, we're entrepreneurs, and we're women that lift each other.
Absolutely,
Okay, there's no
absolutely.
competition in this room.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so I'm gonna need that.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
because
And we met the woman, there's only one black woman at Unify.
Okay.
UNFI. It's a national distribution company.
Okay.
And we just had a conversation with her yesterday. One black woman, and she said, "Please give everyone my information. I wish I had it on me now." She said,
Well,
"Cause she
girl,
said,
I
all I want
find
to do
you.
is reach back and help other minorities to be
I
able to
know
get
how
into
to find
Whole
you.
Foods
Yes.
and Sprouts and whatever. Yeah.
That's something that we want to do at the Nourish spot, so I'll make you laugh. Our salad dressing, which my daughter is responsible for, I can't take any claim to fame for it. She went to Johnson & Wales, so she's the chef of our little group. And she makes a herb dressing that people in the neighborhood call it crack. Seriously. They come in the store and they're like, "Oh, Miss Dawn, can you make me a salad?" I make the salad. I say, "Which dressing you want?" "I want the crack." I'm like, "Huh? You know that green dressing? Stop playing." That's what they say. "Stop playing, Miss Dawn. You know that green dressing." Okay? People come in and they want like 4 of them. They're like, I'm like, "You only need 1." They're like, "No. I'm gonna put. Can I
Put
just
in
have 4,
another
Miss
stuff.
Dawn? Just can you give me 4?"
I want to try.
Right?
it.
So we're looking to actually package it.
Package it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
food
can talk about
scientists
that
first. They'll help you get your formula together because
Okay.
you can't go to a co-packer
without
with
the formula.
just a recipe.
Right.
And then they'll also help you tweak it.
Okay.
Help you get commercial ingredients and
Okay.
stuff like that. I just had a tasting with the
Good.
food scientist, and it
And
wasn't right.
okay.
But she's working on it. I'm gonna have another tasting with her next Friday. But
Perfect.
she was open. She's like, "This is what I got now. What do you think?" I was like, "Well, it's missing this. It's not that. It's not as creamy as mine. Blah 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 blah."
Okay.
And then she's gonna tweak it, and then next Friday, and then we're ready to bring that formula to the co-packer, and then they have to make it.
Okay.
We have to taste that and make
Exactly.
sure it's
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
that's
interesting
good.
because you don't. I mean, prior to you getting involved in this, I didn't.
We don't know
I didn't
nothing about any of
because
that.
you just assume, okay, if it takes 15 pounds of sugar to make whatever, you just
Do it.
quadruple the
Yeah.
recipe. So I'm making it for 500 people, so I'm gonna use 500 pounds. No, but you
Can't
have
do
to.
that.
You have to. Yeah, you don't. You have. It's a scientific formula
Right.
that has to be right based on it multiplying. You can't just add on,
And
add on,
it
Exactly.
add on,
converts
add
to grams too.
Right.
And then, do they also help you like figure out, how much, the label? Do the food scientists help you with the label?
This particular company does. In
Okay.
general, they don't, but
Okay.
this is it's called Mood for Food.
Oh,
Is the
okay.
name of the company,
Okay.
and they have it's a big company, and they have different aspects of it, and
Okay.
they part of that company does help you with
Does that?
food. Like
Okay.
they recommended somebody to do our label.
Okay,
That
good,
kind of
good.
thing.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about
Yeah.
that. So listen, we're gonna talk about your actress and stuff too, but we want to get Ghana in
Yes,
there. Okay.
absolutely.
So Ghana, let's talk about green jigs because
Yes.
I know you have this business for quite some time.
Yes.
Right. And
going on, I think 28 years.
yeah, you've had
28
it.
years,
You've
yeah.
had it for some
Green
time.
Gigz?
Yeah, she's had it for a
I didn't
long.
even know that. I'm a
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, she's had it for a long time. And I know that, you kind of sometimes put it on the side to help other people with their stuff. So tell us about Green Gigz.
Yes, well, Green Gigz is a sustainable event production company. So, producing events with a sustainable slant to it. So, obviously, focusing on environmental aspects of the event. So, limiting paper products. You go to conferences and they hand you paper. No, we will use a tablet. Using, with the food piece of it, not using disposables.
Okay.
When you go to conferences, a lot of times there's like water bottles everywhere, so we'll have water refill stations and just like little things like that to reduce the carbon footprint
Right.
of events. So that was what I thought about. And initially it wasn't a green company, it was just an event production company. And then I have a niece who's just turned 21. But when she was in elementary school, she had come home and she was talking about just the effect of plastic on the environment and how in the school they were eliminating them from bringing plastic plastic containers,
Okay.
plastic forks and knives in, and the wrappers and all of that. So I started talking to her about it, and she was like, "Oh, my niece gets very dramatic. Oh, if we don't do something about this, when I grow up, there won't be an earth." And I started thinking about that if we
Right.
continue doing what we're doing, we're gonna impact the earth so badly that it's not gonna be able to sustain a population. So one of the biggest things that happens in this country and all over the world are events.
Exactly.
They're events, and events leave a huge footprint in the space that it's in.
Like the one that's going on outside.
Right,
I'm wondering
exactly.
where all that trash is going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I started thinking about just how much garbage is left behind at events, thinking of ways to lessen the impact on the place where the event is taking place. So that's how Green Gigz was formed. So some of the events that I do are not specifically green, but I try to do something environmentally conscious with the event, even if it's something as minimal as limiting paper products or giving out water bottles and then
Right.
having water refill stations so that
Right.
people can do that instead of having
A bunch of
plastic
plastic bottles. Right.
I'm now actually working with a conference, the Revolt Music Summit, that actually just had our kickoff event in New York, the 24th of July at the King's Theater.
And how was that?
It went well. It
Okay.
went well. Yeah, we
Okay.
didn't have the turnout that we expected, but we'll.
I think it
fix
was it raining that day?
No, it wasn't. It was
Oh,
a beautiful sunny
okay.
day out, but yeah.
Okay.
But we're fixing that, and
Okay.
when we get to Atlanta and LA, we're gonna blow it out in both cities. So we're gonna be in two other markets,
Okay.
Atlanta in September and Los Angeles in October. So
Well,
I'm real excited.
We need to
about
figure out how to get to
Yeah.
ATL.
You're real excited
Yeah.
about that. So doing my thing.
That's lovely.
Yeah, and
I
then
love
also
it.
some other projects. The Multicultural Media Correspondents Association is a client of mine.
Okay.
They're an organization. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses on diversity in media.
Okay.
They're located in DC, so work with them. And then the Shadow League, which is an online sports portal for African American and the urban culture.
Okay.
So they do an event annually. It's a sports dinner.
Okay.
Sports awards dinner. So that's in October. So got
Okay.
some things coming up. Excited about them. Bidding on a lot of things. So,
That's
yeah.
lovely. That's lovely. See, you're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly. I'm here today with my good girlfriends, the Wilson sisters. I have Ghana to my left and Posh to my right. And that makes me very happy because these ladies, like myself, we have a lot in common, because we're out here striving and persevering and trying to attain our goals. Now, we didn't really talk about Posh's beginnings as a star.
Oh, it started
She's an
with no
actress.
TV. We can both chime in on this. We actually had a mother who called the television an idiot box.
So did my dad.
He did?
Yes.
And so we
Where
did
did
not
they get that
have
from?
I don't know. But we didn't have television for a number of years. We would inherit televisions from, it seemed like off the street. There'd be one and Daddy would bring it in, or a relative would have, and then we would have a television for a little while, and then it would die, and if we tried to watch it too much, my mother was like, "Stop watching that idiot box." But I always dreamed of being inside of it. I remember telling her as a little girl, "I'm gonna be inside there." I didn't know how you got to be inside of it, but I told her I was going to be inside.
And that came true.
And it came true. And I'm about to do a web series.
Okay.
The Other Side of Normal.
Okay.
And this is a connection with Ghana too. For years, she did this program called the Pro Hollywood Boot Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the full name? Pro Hollywood Boot Camp.
NFL Pro Hollywood Boot Camp.
Where they had professional NFL players who had interests in the entertainment business after they stopped being football players.
Right.
And so they
And
might
they got
be interested.
long cash. Okay.
And so they might be interested in writing, directing, acting, or whatever. And so
Exactly.
they would have these Hollywood bigwigs to basically mentor them.
Wow.
And they would hire professional actors, moi being one of them,
Okay.
to actually act in the projects that they
That's
wrote and
lovely.
directed and edited and everything,
Okay.
start to finish. So one of these football players, I did one of his films in this Pro Hollywood Boot Camp. He said, "I'm gonna write something for you. I'm gonna write something for you." He said it's like 3-4 years ago, and I was like, "Yeah, all right, everybody in Hollywood." So he actually did.
Wow.
So when I get back, I'm gonna be filming. We're doing 4 episodes, and one of my closest friends, someone I've known longer than I've known my husband, Tico Wells from the 5 Heartbeats. Most people know him from the 5 Heartbeats. He's gonna play my husband.
Because
Yes.
he's choir boy, right?
He's choir boy.
Choir boy.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
lovely.
So,
Congratulations.
so when I get back into it, so that's exciting.
Look at all that stuff you got going on. Seriously, I just made a post the other day. It said something about people ask me why I got so much going on. And it said, dust settles, queens don't.
Yes, I saw
Yes.
that. Yes.
I
did see
love that.
Yeah,
And
she screenshot
you are
that.
emblematic of that because
are.
you have so much going on, and I just want to applaud you
Thank you.
and thank you because I'm sure that there are a lot of people out here that they're sitting around wondering why they can't do this or that, and really they just need to step out on faith and get started and just not give up. Because I would tell you, we were talking before we got started. So the Nourish spot is actually popping up today at the Jams Festival here in Jamaica, Queens. The 23rd Jamaica Arts and Music Summer Festival is happening right now, today, on Jamaica Avenue. So if you have a chance and you live close by, I say come on out. There's so much commerce going on outside. It's commerce, it's entertainment, it's networking, it's community, there's artwork. I mean, it's so much going on on the avenue. There's all kind of food. Oh yeah, the Nourish spot is in there too. So there's food, there's beverage, there's all kinds of stuff. There's stuff for kids. So if you don't have anything to do, you're looking for something to do, come on out to the Jamaica Arts and Music Summer Festival here on Jamaica Avenue. You won't be disappointed. And so the other thing is, last night we popped up for the first time, and this is talking about being an entrepreneur, right? We popped up for the first time at an outdoor festival. We usually pop up like at churches and things like that, where you can just plug your stuff into a wall. But then, thank God, I asked the organizer, I'm like, because I don't know, I don't know. I'm still new at this thing. So I said to the organizer when I went to pay my money, right? So I said, is it gonna be electricity? Because I use blenders, right? So she said no. And my eyes just got wide. Because one, I think as an entrepreneur, sometimes you don't want to look like you don't know what you should know, right? And I'll be honest, I think I know so much. It's like, damn, I didn't know that, right? And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know what to do. So I got back in my car and I'm like sitting there like, what? Then I'm like, oh, a generator. That's what I need, a generator. So I go to Home Depot, right? Because I'm thinking that's the place you go. I go to Home Depot. I ask them about a generator. They tell me that it costs like almost $100 a day to rent it. Now I'm gonna need it for 2 days, right? So that's $200. And so I said to him, well, can I rent it today, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur. We got so much stuff to do. I don't have time to be going to places 3 and 4 times. Can I get it rented right now? He said no. I said, huh? What? Huh? He said, no, on 2 hours before. I said, sir, you the only Home Depot, and the other one closed. Like, there's a big event going on. Like, I can't wait till then. I'm gonna go. Where the generator's at? Let me go find a generator. So I go and I buy a generator.
Yeah, because when people last time you need one. Yeah.
If I'm gonna pop up,
right,
I'm gonna need it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it should pay for itself over time, right?
Exactly.
So I go, I spend the money, I buy a generator. But as an entrepreneur, as you all know, there's always something to take your attention away from the things that you work on. So I would tell you what happened to me. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened to me. So I wake up Friday morning, I walk into my store. I had a conversation with my COO the night before. That's my daughter Jade. And I said to her, listen, I think that one of our licenses may need to be renewed. I said, I don't know that for a fact, but it's like it's a voice saying to me, the license need to be renewed. She said, no, Mama, we okay, because they would have sent us a note and we didn't get any emails, so we fine. I said, okay. So next day I walk into the store and I'm on the cash register and our licenses are on the wall, right? So I'm on the cash register and my eye just like, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's expired 2 days ago.
Wow.
I can't pop up nowhere tonight without a new license.
Right.
So I go into, crazy mode. I gotta get this thing done. And I actually do go get it done, but it takes my time away from all the things that I have to prepare for, right? It's
like checking the generator.
hot in here. and so we take all the stuff to the park, and the generator don't work. I'm not gonna tell you I had a meltdown. Because
Oh
I
my
did.
gosh.
I had a meltdown.
I'm sure.
I had a meltdown. But luckily, I was able to go to Home Depot. There was a nice woman named Julissa, and Julissa took care of me. Not only did they take that new old generator, but they sold me one that was less expensive and more powerful.
Wow.
And it works. So we are popping up today.
Yes.
But I would tell you that I learned a valuable lesson last night, right? A valuable lesson. One, don't give up, no matter what. Just don't give up. And my daughter, Jade, if you're listening, I want to thank you again. She said, Mommy, even Beyonce got technical difficulties. She said it's all in how you recover.
It's all in how you recover.
And so I'm so glad that we were able to recover with no problem. Of course, we didn't sell as much as we wanted, but that's okay. I learned lessons, and I know what not to do, and I know what to do.
Yeah.
And so we're at the art center today. At the festival today, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like beginner's karma. We did our first did a vegan street fair a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And it was the same. It was everything that could go wrong went wrong. I got a flat tire coming home from the commercial kitchen at 5:00 in the morning.
After being up for essentially
All night,
like
24 hours.
No, 2 days.
2 days making all the ice cream.
Then I was emptying trash in my apartment building, and the door slammed, and there was no knob on the inside of the.
So you were locked in the trash
locked in the trash.
Oh my God, the trash compactor room.
And I didn't have my phone with me.
How'd you get out, Posh?
I just kept knocking on the door. And then after like literally about 15 minutes, I just like, oh my gosh, I looked and the knob was at the back. So I was trying to, because this had been broken off, so I was trying to get it to, so I could open and get it. Oh my gosh, what else happened? Oh, the ice cream containers didn't come when they were supposed to come.
Okay, see,
it was just one thing
This
after
show
another.
is ordained. God knew that I was going. God knew that you guys were gonna make me feel better.
Then more money for the labels than I thought,
Yeah.
so I ended up running out of money because I had to buy more containers because those didn't come from a different company. It was just one thing, but the meltdown happened when I was locked in the garbage. Because I was like,
I would have been
last
too.
straw.
I would have been too.
That was just
Claustrophobic. The little room, and that room is small.
Yes.
Oh,
that
that would
was the
drive me
last
crazy.
straw. So, but we did it, and we learned
it
about
was 2 days. It was 2 days. It was
Okay.
a 2-day event.
And we were partnered, not partnered. We were where they put our booth was right next to another ice cream booth that had fancy ice cream. My ice cream is, it's delicious, but it's basic.
Right.
That's my kind of
The simple,
thing.
right.
It's
Simple's
like
good.
ice cream that you're used to.
Right.
Done really amazingly.
Yes, because I
And
love
they
that.
had like the bells and the whistles with the thing and the pictures and it was just done. And so we were like, okay.
You had to compete with that.
We had to compete with that.
Yes.
But I think also the thing that I observed was that people, while they were wowed by and pulled in
By
to
that stuff.
the bells and whistles.
Right.
One of the things that we always have this poster that we had, the same one we had at the Betsy, and it's a
Right.
poster of the Mama
Yeah,
Aunties
the brand logo,
yes,
right.
the brand logo. So that was kind of in between. So it was the fancy ice cream and our ice cream, and there was like a little partition there. So that's
Okay.
where we put the and not for any reason except
Right.
that was if you needed to prop it up against something because the wind kept blowing it over.
Right.
People were coming over, buying their ice cream and taking pictures in front of the Mama Aunties thing, saying, "Oh,
Buying ice
Mama
cream
Aunties
from
is
the
delicious."
one next
Yeah, so
Right.
what people were drawn to was that image
Right.
and what it says tastes too good to be vegan and the word Mama Auntie. There were people who were walking over that were just like, I'm on my way out. I'm not buying anything. I just want to
Right.
make a donation because I'm a Mama Auntie too. So
Oh, that's lovely.
It was a really, really good experience just seeing how, the community was supportive and there were a lot of African Americans who were there who were vegan who said that they don't see a lot of African American vegan vendors
That's
there.
the truth.
So they popped by and they just said, I'm here, just
Donation.
take
Yeah,
this.
just
I
give
love
us
it.
money.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the truth about the whole vegan thing. So again, back to the Nourish spot. one of the reasons that we established the Nourish Spot is also to give options to vegans, because I have a lot of friends that are now vegan and they're like, there's no place to eat. And I'm like, well, what do you need? And then they tell me what they need, and so I make sure that I have that in there. But we also sell meat, so I'm not a person, I want to be balanced, and I'll be honest, I want to get the money from everybody.
Right.
Let's be real, okay? And so, and people in my community, they just need the greens. That's really what it is. They're not eating the greens. I mean, they're not even eating the fruit.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Because it's
to me.
amazing that Jamaica is still a food desert.
It is.
That you do not find fresh, wholesome, I mean, well, because it's like the grocery stores are so far from where people are living.
And the other part, they don't carry. So
right.
as an entrepreneur, I go to the food store, so you know what I'm talking about. We go to the food distribution center. So I had to call out the supermarket around my way. I called them out, okay? Because I went to buy some grapes because we ran out of grapes in the store. Now I know how much the grapes cost because I buy them from the food distribution store. They tried to sell me this little thing of grapes. No joke. Little thing of grapes. It's like this big and maybe that tall. They tried to sell me that for like $4. And I said to them, y'all want drugs? Y'all want drugs? I bought a whole big car and 3 pounds for $4. I said, y'all are ripping us off in this neighborhood.
Right.
I said, I'm telling you. He's like, oh, don't buy it. I said, So you know what he did? No joke. He ran in the back. He came back. He had repriced it. But that's just for me. That's not good.
Right.
Okay, he repriced it because he knows I know the real deal. Okay, but if you went in and you didn't know the real deal, he's not repricing it for you. So guess what I did? I wrote to my congressman. Because I think it's unfair.
Yeah. Because part of there are diseases and things that afflict people in these communities that are nutrition based. So if you make it prohibitive for people to get good nutrition, then you end up spending more money on medical stuff. So you end up with communities that have higher rates of diabetes and high blood pressure. So you bring all of these medical intervention into that costs much more.
Exactly. And takes more from you.
And then if you just supply, if you made sure that every community had a grocery store that carried healthy options
at a decent price.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because and the other part of it is they don't carry everything.
Right.
So you go into these stores and like for me, because I carry everything. So I'm like, do you have raspberries? They're like, what's that? What? You got some cilantro? No, we don't have that. Listen. I buy all this stuff and I bring it to my store. So the other problem is the people that come in, they're not used to it. So they're like, what's that? Oh, that's a dragon fruit. You eat that? Yes. Little kids. What's that? One of my workers, I hope she don't get mad at me right now, but one of my workers said to me today, a plum. She said, what's this?
She'd never seen a plum.
Wow.
Listen, I be scratching my head. I swear, because I'm just like, wow.
Dragon fruit I can understand because that's kind of unique. But a plum,
yeah, a lot of people, they know basic. They know apple, they know orange, they know bananas, they know pineapple. Like just the basic. They have never seen the plethora of fruit and vegetables.
But it's funny because also when they were learning the alphabet, because Oliver Bonds, that's when children's books,
right? When
they're teaching,
it's usually apple, banana.
But on P they have plums. I remember that from a Bonds. Those little yeah.
I guess it wasn't in her book. Cause she actually did like this and said, cause one of our clients, so if you're a repeat client at the Nourish Spot, we have a book and we actually put your name down with the juice or the smoothie that you like all the time. So we had a customer that came in, she hasn't been in a while. Her name is Lisa. She's like, Miss Dawn, am I still in the book? I said, yeah, I'm sure. Here's the book, find your name, right? So she found it, and so she handed it to the young lady, and the young lady was like, she started getting everything together that she needed, and then she was like, Miss Dawn? I said, yes, baby. She said, she didn't want the client. I said, at first I was like, yes. It's a plum. So that's the thing that amazes me, that I get the opportunity to introduce
That's yeah.
things to our community that they're not
Right.
used to.
And then also, and then also, you know, employing the people that like the kids that you have in there. Like you said, she had never seen a plum before. Now she knows what a plum is.
Yes.
She can tell her friends.
And her family,
And her
exactly.
family,
Yes.
So the fact that you know, so your store, in addition to, you know, the nutritional value that is bringing to the nutritional benefit that it's bringing to the community, that you have, you know, kids and young people in your store who now know about nutrition.
Exactly.
And they may not have known, you know, they may not learn about it at home, but now
Or
that's
school.
information, or school, yeah,
Right,
and that's
'cause
information that they can take to their families and encourage their families to eat healthier. So
Exactly.
it's a great, yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So,
amazing.
I got 2 questions that I gotta ask you guys.
Yes.
One is the question that I ask all of my guests, so I have to ask you as well. I don't know how much time I have. Okay, thank you. But I'll start with you, Posh. The question is, what do you do to nourish yourself?
Wow. I would say my spiritual practice. I'm a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist, have been for, 30 years or
Wow,
so.
okay.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay.
And so I chant. The chant that I do is Nam Myoho Renge
I know it. I was
You know
gonna
that
say
chant?
it. I was
Yeah.
gonna say it
Yeah.
because Joe Reed at AARP wanted to make me a Buddhist so bad, and so she taught me that.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I mean, it really makes a difference. And what it does is, you know, everything has energy,
Yes.
and especially sound,
Right.
you know, but like if you play a certain chord on a piano, like the horror movie chord, they always have like these
Right.
chords,
Yes.
and then there's certain chords that make you lift it up, so the sound and the vibration from Nam Myoho Renge Kyo actually lifts your life energy.
Okay.
And so that's how I nourish myself. I do it every morning. I try to do at least an hour in the morning if I
Okay.
can. It makes the difference between me cussing somebody out
Let me start that.
Yo,
Ringo.
and
Yo.
and me really being able to handle everything in my life.
That
And then I
comes-
hike too. I live in California, so I go hiking and I get.
Yeah, that's that big
And
thing.
I do yoga. I do yoga
Oh,
too.
you do?
Yeah, I just
How
started
long-
yoga about. I've been wanting to do yoga forever, and I
Okay.
just started about 2 months ago.
You stand on your
Coincidentally
head?
or not so coincidentally, my neighbor who always heard me chanting
Okay.
struck up a conversation with me. Turns out she's a yoga teacher. So I chant for an hour in the morning, then I go upstairs and I take yoga with
That
her.
is so nice.
Yeah,
Now you
cool.
stand on your head and all that stuff
No,
too?
she does, it's called yin.
Okay.
So it's restorative yoga, so
Okay.
it's not a lot of standing on your head, it's not
Okay.
a lot of holding poses.
Okay, like
forever.
planks and all that. You're not
Yeah,
doing all
it's
that
not
stuff?
that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
See, that's
Okay.
the kind of yoga I could do, because I've tried the other, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a
Yeah, it's a
lot,
lot. Because I tried it at this year actually at Leading Women Define.
Oh,
They had what's that, like Jean? She's beautiful too. What's her name? Jeannie Richards or
Oh,
something
I
like
don't know
that.
her. I only know Robin Downs. She does the yoga flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
I don't
only
think it
yoga.
was her.
Yeah.
It was. I think her name is Jeannie. I could see her face, but she actually led us in a yoga, I guess, session,
Mhm.
and
Did you
know,
find benefit from it?
I did. I was
Okay.
proud of myself actually because you know, yoga involves a lot of stretching, you know, and I hadn't done. I mean, other than picking up all these boxes that I do every day, I haven't really done that kind of stuff. So I didn't think I could. I'll be
Right.
honest. And then also, my knees. I'm old. You know, my knees sometimes give me trouble, and so I was like, I'm not sure I could get this done, but I did it, and I was really proud of myself at the end, and it felt cathartic too, right? You know, I felt like my mind felt clearer and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get back into
Yeah.
it because that would be something nice to do. I get my exercise really picking up boxes every day.
Wow.
Each and every day.
Wow.
I'm at the store picking up big old boxes of pineapple and bananas and stuff like that. So I don't know why these wings haven't gone away. But the weight has gone away, and I'm really, really proud of it. So now, I got a few more minutes, and we're going to ask you.
Oh,
You're
God,
going to help
what
us
do I do
close
to
out
nourish-
this show
what do I do to
today.
nourish
What do
myself?
you do, Ghana, to nourish yourself?
I get away. I
Okay.
try to get away at least. Well, it used to be 2 weeks. That was my recharge. So I would go to the vineyard and literally just not just turn it off, shut it
Right.
off, and just hang out with family and friends, and that's how I nourish. This year I'm only going for a week, but yeah, and then also chanting too. I'm not as diligent as PaSean, but I do notice.
Okay.
Like I know, like if there are times when, like right before we had the summit last week, Yvonne and I was like, you know what? I said I have got to chant today. I
Okay.
said because I know that I'm going to have some challenges, and I need to center myself and how I respond to them. And I know people thought I was crazy because you know me, I will pop off in a minute.
In a
And I
minute.
was just like, well, you know,
Ooh, that's my
see,
friend.
let's see what we can do. People were like, oh, okay.
They're like, wait, look, they holding the table like she about to do something. Something about to happen.
Okay. But it definitely
makes a
helps. So
difference.
I
Good.
I try to, and it's so funny because my cat loves. So she'll be hiding under the bed, but as soon as she hears me chanting, because I have it on the TV, because
Really?
on Apple TV, I go to YouTube.
Okay.
And then just put it, and she come out and she lays right, and when Pasha's there, and when she visits me and she's chanting too, she lays right there and she like sits there, and she looks up, she dozes off, she looks up, she dozes up, and it's just it's calming.
That is
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, she loves it when I chant.
That's
So,
beautiful.
but yeah, but I've been chanting a lot more than I used to, just because I see the benefit of it, and it definitely centers me, and it definitely helps me to regulate my responses to stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I just getting on the subway and somebody bumps into you and all of that stuff. So it helps center me. So that's how I nourish myself. My annual sojourn to the Rock of
Okay.
Martha's Vineyard
Okay.
and chanting now.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you both, ladies,
Thank you for having
for
us.
spending time with
Yes.
me here at the Nourish Spot Hour at Caribbean Buzz Radio. It's been wonderful. It's just wonderful knowing you two,
Thank
really,
you.
and being friends with you guys. What's important about life, I've said this over and over again, but relationships matter. So if I leave you with anything today, I would say, tell the people in your life that you love, tell them that you love them. Call your good girlfriends, hang out, go have a drink, just be a friend. Be good to people.
Yes.
That's important. That'll lower your stress.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Be good to people.
Yes.
And have a wonderful week. And I'll see you again next week at the Nourish Spot Hour. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a great day. And remember, you are what you put into yourself.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.